Hi, and good morning, and welcome to Mrs. Mummypenny Talks. I am back for my last podcast of the year. Yep, I have decided it's the 17th of December. Happy birthday, Matthew, my nephew. It's his birthday today. This will be my last podcast of the year. I'm going to try and take a bit of a break over the Christmas holidays, have 2 weeks off from posting all my content and doing the podcast and putting videos up on YouTube. Gonna have a bit of a break. Why not? I wrote a post last week about some of the things I miss from employed life. In fact, I will talk a bit more about them later in this podcast. But one of the things was I realised that I haven't actually had any time this year where I haven't worked, even on my holidays. So yeah, I'm gonna have some time off over Christmas, so that'd be good. So yes, the subject for podcast today is I'm going to be talking about my money saving highlights for the year. I've done some really great things this year which have saved lots and lots of money. Altogether, I reckon they've saved me more than £1,000. So things that you can be doing that will save you a load of money. And then I'll talk about some of the things that I miss about being self-employed versus employment. So let's start with that, because I think it's an interesting subject, and it's something that for some reason I've not really thought about too much till now, because I've been so intent on generating income to match or to supersede what my income was from my employed days. I've not really thought about all the other benefits that I've not been getting. So, I wrote about it all last week. So firstly, probably the most important thing I'm missing out on is that I don't have an employed pension. So I don't have an employer who's contributing into my pension for me. Right, so I'm 42. I could well be, I will have the permission to draw from my personal pension at the age of 57. That's what it is at the moment. That age could change by then, but who knows what laws the government will put in place by then. But yeah, it's not too far off, so I can be drawing from my pension soon. And it's all on me. I'm self-employed. It's all on me to put money into my pension. When you're employed, your employer, they might match the same amount you do. Or they'll definitely be putting in a certain amount. I think the minimum contribution is 8%, and you put in 5, your employer puts in 3, so that's free money they're giving you. And I'm not getting that. That's quite a lot of money. So my pension is suffering quite considerably. I haven't really put much into my pension the last sort of 4 years since I've been self-employed. I restarted this year, but I didn't put in what I intended to at the beginning of the year. So yeah, I'm really missing that. And the other thing that I've been missing as well is private health cover. I've been on waiting lists this year for various medical issues, and it's taking ages to even get an appointment with a specialist. So yeah, if I'd had private health cover, that would all be sorted pretty quickly, wouldn't it? So yeah, I had private health cover for like 16 years and really took it for granted. So yeah, missing that, and it's quite an expensive thing to have. I don't have it at the moment. Looking into it, death in service as well. So you have like a life insurance policy when you're at work. Well, some people do. I know I used to have a policy that would pay out 4 times my salary if I died when I was in my last job. I have life insurance policies now, which I always had life insurance policies running alongside death and service, so I just had sort of extra cover. But yeah, that's an extra life insurance policy. And of course the sick and the holiday pay that you just don't get. If I don't work, I don't get paid. Not strictly true, actually. I do have some sort of passive things that sit on my website that sort of earn money each day. I've got adverts on my website which earn a grand old total of about $20 a day. It adds up over the month. It's a nice chunk, but it's certainly not enough to pay my mortgage. Nowhere near. So yeah, it's just some really big things. And if you added up what all of those benefits are worth, it's got to be worth like 25% on top of your salary. So I've been aiming for a certain number of turnover that my business needs to make to beat my old salary. But actually, I need to be increasing that by another 25% to ensure all these other things are covered, particularly my pension. I've got a post going live later on today about the fear of pensions and how it just installs this fear into people where they just want to bury their head in the sand and just sort of not look into it. But it is really worth looking into. So it's a scary, scary fact, but I know that what I have got is nowhere near enough. So I've got around £50,000 sat in a pension pot, and there's a really nifty retirement forecast tool in my PensionBee app where I've put in how much money I need to put in each month, add it onto the pension amount I've already got, and what that is going to be worth for my retirement age. And I need to be putting £500 a month into my pension to make sure I have enough for when I'm retired. So that's a lot that I need to be putting in, £500 a month. Yeah, I can't afford to put that into my pension at the moment. Hopefully next year I will. My cost base is going up quite considerably from some point next year, so that's going to impact on other things like pensions. So yeah, there's just think carefully about sort of the difference between employment and self-employment, and just remember all those benefits that you might not get. So yes, 2019, it's been a great year for money saving, as it always is for me in my job as a personal finance blogger. But I just wanted to go through some of the really simple, easy things you can do to save yourself as much money as possible. So I'll start with my bills. They're always the first place I say for people to look at. So make sure everything, no fail, everything is rechecked every year when it's up for renewal. So this year I changed my car insurance, home insurance, travel insurance, broadband. Those are the only things I changed, I think. Yes. They all sort of came up for renewal at the same sort of time. That was handy, February, March time. But I do a little search of the market using the top cashback compare tool. There are loads of comparison tools out there, but I like that one because that also tells me how much cashback I will get on each of the deals. And found the best deal. The best deal isn't always the best deal. Make sure you read terms and conditions as well. And then I got those insurance policies and got some cash back as well. So not only saved money on my renewal, I also got some cash back as well. So that meant that I was on the best deal for some of my bills. Things like energy, you should be looking at comparing that every year. I did compare it in February, but the deal my existing company could give me was actually a really good deal. I think switching would have saved me maybe like £4 or £5 a month. So I didn't. I stayed with Octopus. So yeah, really great value for money. I pay £92 a month. So that's the direct debit that goes out. I've got a smart meter which keeps me in check, although last month was a horrendous. We actually spent like £130, but that's me. I'm gonna admit it was mainly me being cold at home and putting the heating on. So I just need to layer up instead of putting the heating on. I've been moaning at everybody to switch the lights off because they're constant. Whenever I walk into the house, like every single light in the house has been left on. Very annoying. So yes, that's your bills. What other bills do we need to look at? Mobile phone, make sure you're on the best deal for that. That's normally changed every 2 years. I never have to worry about changing my mobile phone deal though, because I've got a lifetime discount from EE, because that's where I used to work. So I get 30% off my bills. Although my bill is now extortionate each month because I've got 4 different lines on it. I've got my phone, I've got my watch, and I've got two lines for Hi Morgan, I'm good. How are you? Got somebody talking to me on my Facebook Live. So my mobile phone bill comes to like £90 a month. I've got two lines for my two eldest children as well. So I need to work out a way to get that lower, because that feels like quite a lot. Need to look at when my phone is up for renewal. Maybe move to a SIM-only contract. Keep my phone, move to a SIM-only contract. That should be a good way to save money. I haven't changed my mortgage for a while. Hi Morgan, she's new to the page. Hello, nice to meet you on a live video. So other things I have done, so travel. Do a lot of train travel. Now I've actually worked out, I've saved in excess of £100 having my network rail card. So there's all different rail cards you can get depending on your situation. But I use my network rail card because I often travel by myself. That costs £30 a year, but that gets me a third off. Hello, Julie. That gets me a third off all of my train travel into anywhere in the southeast. So I go into London once a week. As long as I make sure I travel after 10 o'clock, I get a third off my travel. So great money saving there. And also a really, really big way is I switched my car last year to a hybrid car, and I worked it out yesterday. So it costs £40 to do 400 miles in the hybrid car worth of fuel. That's not taking wear and tear into account or anything. And the old car used to cost £70 for 500 miles. So what's that the equivalent of? My car would be £50 for 500 miles. So I'm saving £20 each time I fill the car up with fuel. So hybrid, a really great way of saving a little bit of money on your fuel. Obviously electric you save a lot more, but the problem with electric cars at the moment is that they don't really have the range. Although I did see, is it a Vauxhall car? Had a range of like 300 miles, but mostly they don't have that far a range. Even my hybrid car has a 400 mile tank. So yeah, and I don't know, I just feel that the infrastructure is not quite ready for electric cars yet, maybe in a few years' time. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was savings on entertainment. Now, are you a big cinema goer? We are. We normally go to the cinema once a month, and we use the Kids Pass tool to get 40% off our cinema tickets. Really great little sort of membership thing you join there where you buy your cinema tickets on there. You can get... I've got... Sorry, questions coming through in my live. Jules, I've got a Toyota CHR, which is sort of a cross between a big car and a little car. It's a really nice car. Looks a bit like a spaceship. And it's really nice inside. But yeah, I really, really like it. And there's loads of them on the road at the moment. So Toyota have been doing a good job selling them. So yeah, back to entertainment, Kids Pass. Just a really great way to save on your cinema tickets. It's something like Morgan, and by the way, I'm also doing a comic story and was wondering what someone would do if they were a character. Yeah, Morgan, you can ask me some questions. Do you want to send me a message on Facebook, a personal message on Facebook, and you can ask me those questions. So yes, Kids Pass, great way to save on meals out with your kids, days out with the kids, cinema. It costs, I think it's like £30 for a year, but I have had way in excess of £100 worth of savings just because of going to the cinema. And we're off to the cinema on Friday after the last day of term. Kids finish at lunchtime, so we're going to see Jumanji. Yay! Love Jumanji. Love The Rock. So yes, those are my big ways of saving money. I reckon doing all those things has saved in excess of £1,000, way in excess of £1,000, if you take fuel and all of those things into account. So yes, thank you for listening. That is going to be it. So my last podcast of the year, I will say, have a wonderful Christmas. Have a brilliant time with your family, And just don't go mad spending too much money. If you've still got some presents on the list, make sure they're things that people actually want, that won't get just taken back or thrown away. And have a great Christmas and New Year, and I'll be back in 2020. Thanks for your support this year. Really appreciate it. Keep on reading, keep on watching.